Welcome back, everybody. Like I said before, today we're going to be doing Shucky beans. Now, I did a little research last night on Shucky beans, and they're also called leather britches. I never called them that, but growing up, we would string beans every summer on my grandparents' porch, and it was such fun. My granny would get it started for us. She'd get a big long string and put a needle on it, and she'd get it started. She'd tie a bean to the end, and then she'd let us string those beans, and we'd do a great big long string and hang them up. And under the right conditions, they'd be dry in 3 or 4 days, but sometimes it took about a week. But after you dry them, you take them down for the winter, and they should look something like this. Now, I soaked these all night last night, and they are beautiful. And I want to thank my good friend Rowena for giving me these beans. She is a really good farmer and a wonderful person. So she was good enough to give me these beans to share with you all today. Now, greasy beans are really, really good. They're smaller. The beans are very white, as you can see here, but they make a really good Shucky bean. My parents and my grandparents always used white half runners, and I know that is a personal favorite of a lot of farmers and a lot of cooks. But today we're going to do greasy beans. Now, all I'm going to do, as I said, I have been soaking them all night. I'm going to just drain them and rinse them off a little bit. When you dry Shucky beans, you can store a bushel of beans in a little bitty bag. I mean, they really do dry up and shrink a lot. So by rehydrating them, they have pretty much come back to their normal size. I'm going to just rinse them here in the sink. And then we're going to put them on with enough water to cover them and season them with some oil and some real butter and some kosher salt. So you can see they are beautiful. It's going to take about 6 hours to do this. So I'm going to add water, just enough to cover, and get them started boiling. Once they start boiling, I'll add the salt and the butter and oil. So you come back later, I'll show you what we've got. Like I say, it's going to take about 6 hours, but it's going to be so good on this gray, cold day. Be right back.
Our Mountains is currently looking for area businesses and organizations interested in sponsoring our show. From large corporations to the shop around the corner, any business in our mountains will benefit from the exposure gained from advertising on our show, and we have plans to fit any budget. Call Rhonda at 606-521-6493 or send us an email to ourmountainseky@gmail.com for more information or to set up an appointment. Help us celebrate East Kentucky culture and support Our Mountains.
Okay, welcome back, folks. I've got this big pot of Shucky beans here, and it smells really good. I'm going to see if they're about done. They look very soft, and the beans are very white, and they're beautiful, just beautiful. I'm going to test them and see if it needs a little bit more salt. Yeah, definitely use a little bit more salt. So I put about a big heaping tablespoon in this morning, earlier, and I'm going to put about that much again. And the soup, you can see the soup's starting to thicken up, really good. I'm going to let them cook about another hour, just so that salt will soak in and be done just in time for supper. I wish you all had a big bowl of this. It's really good.
Thanks, Mom. You know, I don't like Shucky beans, but those look pretty good. Jonathan, do you like Shucky beans?
I love Shucky beans.
Folks, this is Jonathan Gay. He's the director at the Kentucky Innovation Network at Morehead State University. Jonathan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Joel. Glad to be here.
You know, Mom's been cooking Shucky beans all day, and you have to sit with me. I'm sorry you don't get to enjoy those.
It's the breaks.
So tell us a little bit about the Kentucky Innovation Network. What is it you guys actually do over there?
That's a great question. You know, it really varies from day to day. I'm the director of the Kentucky Innovation Network office at Morehead State University, but we're part of a statewide group. There are 12 offices throughout the state, running from Murray all the way to Ashland, Covington, all the way down to London. So we span quite a bit of territory. My territory is Eastern Kentucky, particularly the 22 counties that Morehead State University services, and we work with businesses in those communities to try to strengthen those businesses, particularly with an emphasis on entrepreneurship. That's what we do, is try to make entrepreneurs more efficient.
How do you do that? What is it you actually do with the entrepreneurs?
It really runs the gamut. It's everything from finding a patent attorney to finding the financial assistance they need to helping them with their business model. A lot of clients are inventors or have a new product or new technology, and they're not sure what sort of business model they need. Do they make it themselves and sell it themselves? Do they create an e-commerce site? Do they work with partners? So it really varies from client to client what we do. We've done everything from regulatory assistance to help clients comply with FDA rules to a lot of intellectual property, copyrights, trademarks, patents, and quite a bit of business modeling. What is the correct business model for the particular entrepreneur?
So if somebody out there has an idea for a new product or an innovative idea, something that they're doing, you guys could really help them out, couldn't you?
We absolutely could. And we're working with a couple of manufacturers, existing manufacturers that are looking to reorient what they do. So anyone that's either has an innovative idea or innovative product or service, or that's looking to innovate, we're interested in working with them. You know, we've got a small business development center at Morehead, very, very effective, and those folks work really well with the existing business models, the convenience store type businesses. We're not as good with those type businesses, I don't think. We're really good with those businesses where there's not a clear path to success. And we work with those businesses with the SBDC and a lot of other partners to bring those other partners to the table to try to make the entrepreneur stronger.
And the way that we actually got working together a little bit is we were working on a film council where people, filmmakers in the region were getting together and spitballing some ideas. Talk to us a little bit about that idea with the technology aspect of it.
Sure, that was part of a cluster that we're trying to form called Tech Base 10. And Tech Base 10 is, like I said, an IT cluster. And the concept behind the cluster is we want to bring businesses that are involved in a certain similar type of process together. In this case, IT, information technology. We're working a lot with programmers, database developers, software developers, and we thought, why not bring in the film folks? Because they do so much of what you do involves work in the digital space, involves work with IT. So we thought we'd create a little special branch of that, and we brought together a few film folks and talked about some current needs. We're actually working with a filmmaker now in Jackson who's recently made a documentary called Bad Tom Smith about a feudist from Perry and Breathitt County. And so we feel like that those type businesses, they have so much in common that it's good to bring them together and let them work together.
Eastern Kentucky folks, with our economy changing, entrepreneurship is really an area that it's going to give us a lot of opportunity. Talk to us about what an Eastern Kentucky person or family could do right now to really take the reins of their own life and maybe make a change right now using entrepreneurship.
Well, entrepreneurship is creating an enterprise. It's going out and creating a business or even a nonprofit that is viable, that is commercially viable, that will stand the test of time. You know, I've written in the Floyd County Times. I write a column, as you know, every week in the Floyd County Times, and I've written about our ability to create sort of an artisan economy where each of us can look at what we could do to create businesses, whether those businesses involve Shucky beans or whether those businesses involve film and media, or whether those businesses involve tourism attractions, food ideas, agricultural ideas. And I think that all of those businesses, the common thread that runs between all of those businesses is we have to treat them as businesses. We have to maximize our ability to make a profit with those businesses. And we have to use the tools and the techniques that business owners have used for decades. And I think that's hard work. And a lot of times our entrepreneurs in the region will become fixated on product. So we really have to encourage them, look beyond the product. look at what you can do to actually make this a commercially viable enterprise or a commercially viable nonprofit, a sustainable organization. So that's really what entrepreneurship is in its essence, is making these entrepreneurs and business owners and nonprofits more successful and more stable enterprises.
If folks at home would like to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Folks at home, we're at kyinnovation.com. Again, we're the Kentucky Innovation Network, and I'm at Morehead State University, but we've got organizations around the state. You can call me, we'll put you in touch with those other folks, and we'll come out. We work for free. There's no cost. We're paid for by your taxpayer dollars, and we're interested in working with you to help you grow a business. So if you've got an idea, please give us a call.
Jonathan, thank you for coming in, sir.
Thank you, Joel.
Folks, there's more from Our Mountains coming up right after this.